We're looking at Tesla here on the weekly chart. You can see we're trading at 293.94, down around 22 bucks almost from last week's trading session. That is almost 7%. Where does that currently put us? Well, it's all going to be about this 295 level in here. That's our 50% fib retrace that we have on the weekly chart. We mentioned this level in our past videos here as far as being a resistance, and it looks like now it is going to be a resistance once more. So we kind of have to decide how much are we going to gap up going into tomorrow? How much are we going to gap down? Is this going to become a support or a resistance? That is a big level for us in here. And today we just kept on banging our head up against it, right? We're obviously above it here in pre-market this morning and things like that. But then overall, just not a whole lot of movement in here. You would expect a big gap down, right? Especially a $20 gap down in Tesla, with some volatility behind it to kind of just push up and maybe get back, $10 of that or 15 and then pull back again, or, you know what I mean? Something like that, but really just a whole lot of nothing in here all day today. So we're going to see how we react tomorrow. We're going to see how we react to those 295s, because that's what it's going to all come down to in here. Is that going to be our support or resistance in here? And that's a major fib level for us in here on that weekly chart. If we go to the 30-minute chart, you can kind of see where everything happened here today. So you can see early in pre-market, you had a high of almost 300. You had a high of 296 in here right around 10 o'clock. But other than that, not a whole lot of anything. We almost breached the 295s and held here right at the end of the day. But then obviously we did pull back, placing a doji right here on that 30-minute candle. And you can see we're riding that 9-day EMA in here into after hours. So the 295 level is going to be key for us in here yet again. You can see we broke out of our lower trend line here. So that big gap down. Now we're going to keep this on here just for a couple more days, just to kind of see if this is going to act as a resistance as we build this candle back up, or are we going to keep on going here to the right and slowly coming down to meet our 200 SMA, which is currently down here at that 245 level. Now, supports below the 295 area are going to be right here at this 282. And then our resistance we're going to look at is going to be this 9-day EMA up here, currently trading at 311. So obviously 300 is the big psych level in here. That was kind of putting pressure on us in pre-market today. So we're going to see how that reacts tomorrow. If we can keep that 295 as a support, say we gap up, 295 is our support, then 300 is going to be the big psych level. Anything above that, 311. If the 295 decides to still be our resistance when we gap down a little bit tomorrow or open up flat, then obviously our next support we're going to be looking at is going to be the 282, 281 level down in here. Now, on our implied volatility, obviously we did get a little bit of that back in here because we did lose some of it in last week's trading sessions. So a little bit of all push back up in here, $14 expected move by this Friday. Next week, everybody's looking at right around a $22 expected move, and we do have earnings coming up at the end of the month. So perhaps maybe a little early earnings jitters in here. Maybe everybody's trying to set up for a price in. Maybe they don't want to get too overextended here as we go into earnings. So we're going to see how all this plays in, or maybe just Musk just keeps on talking and investors don't like it. It's kind of we don't really know. So it's all going to come down to that 295 level though, for sure, and that is going to make or break Tesla in here. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you are interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.